If you are a millennial entrepreneur, you're still juggling a 9 to 5, you think about quitting your job um, all day, every day. The moment someone pisses you off, the moment you don't feel like getting out the bed in the morning, and you just daydream about the moment where you can give your notice, the moment that you can just peace out to it all, you want to watch this. I'm going to be sharing with you 3 ways that you can quit. Okay. Before I dive into it, if you happen to be here with me live, hey, do me a favor and say hey or something in the comments so that I know that you are here with me. I may not be able to see your name, but I can see the comments. So just know that. If you happen to be catching the replay, do me a favor, still say hey or drop replay so that I know you are a replay watcher. Super glad that you're here as well, and hope you get something good and tangible out of this quick little piece of insight that I'm going to share with you in just a minute. If you may be watching this maybe because somebody shared it with you, or you stumbled upon one of my pages somewhere and this might be your first time engaging with any of my content. I'm glad that you're here, and I know that it's not by mistake. So let me take a moment to introduce myself to you. I'm Danielle, the coach. I'm a certified life and leadership coach. I help millennial entrepreneurs break up with the status quo and unapologetically create the life of their wildest dreams. It can look a couple of different ways depending on where said entrepreneur is on their entrepreneurship journey. A lot of times, the biggest life transition that my clients are up against, are working towards when they come to me, is they are entrepreneurs that are juggling that 9 to 5, right? And they want to quit, but they don't have the confidence to quit. And so they come to me for help with creating their corporate exit strategy so that they can, at their appointed time when they're ready, quit with confidence, right? And then really move into this next season of their life, and begin living the life that they've been dreaming about, right? The life of their wildest dreams. So that's the gist of what I do and who I do it for. So in case you didn't know, now you know, right? I want to make an invitation. If that entrepreneur that I just described is you, I want to make an invitation for you to book a free strategy session with me, right? I know what it's like when you feel that tug at your soul. That's what it feels like. And it's gnawing away at you, yet and still every day you get up and you show up and you report to a place in a space that is literally no longer serving you. And it's not only that it's no longer serving you, but you know that there is a bigger, grander call over your life, right? And there's something else that you desire to do, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, to make an impact in the world, using your gifts and your talents, right, in service of others. And there's just a lot of things swirling, along with the overwhelm of your job, the responsibilities of adulting, and then also building and growing a business, right? It's a lot. And so it could be a lot to manage. And putting together your exit strategy can feel like lifting a ton of bricks when you're doing it by yourself. And because I know that, I'm inviting you to book a complimentary strategy session with me. The link is in the caption of the video. Depending on wherever you're watching it, it should be in the, I'm certain that it's in the caption. All you got to do is click that link, book a time that's available, that aligns with your schedule, complete the questionnaire, and we'll take it from there. Okay. So now, 3 ways that my entrepreneurs can quit. And I think about this because I understand like the pressure that you can be up against when you feel like your back is against the wall. You're tired of getting up and doing this thing and being a hamster on somebody else's hamster wheel, keeping somebody else's lights on, right? Your light is dimming while you're doing all of the things to keep somebody else's on. And you feel like enough is enough, right? And so I know you get to the point where there's some days you just want to throw your hands up and be like, listen, I got my resignation letter locked and loaded. It's just a matter of time for before I walk into my supervisor's office or send this letter to HR and let them know, like, listen, I'm out, right? I get it. But then there's something that might keep you from going forward with it when you really sit in it and you say, well, maybe not today, right? But it's coming soon, and I'm confident that it's coming soon. So I get the frustration, I get the overwhelm, I get the angst, I get the feeling of feeling like you're withering away at your desk, right? Because your soul is not being fed. Your soul is crying out for something new, something different, something of impact, and all of the things, right? So I want to share with you three ways to quit. The first way is just to quit cold turkey. And before you leave, listen, I do not recommend. That is a way to quit. I do not recommend all whatsoever that way to quit, right? One thing my clients will tell you, and it's to the point where they hear me on their shoulder even when we're not in a session or even after their time of working with me has completed. One thing that they know that I'm going to say when it comes to a decision point is either 4 words or 5 words. I'll either say, you get to choose, or you always get to choose, right? I will tell you right now that just the quitting cold turkey, you waking up and just saying, F it, basically, like, I do not recommend. Okay. But as I tell my clients, you always get to choose. But we're just going to acknowledge that, like, yeah, that's an option. Doesn't mean you have to pick it, but it is an option. Now, the second way to quit is with a plan, right? And that might sound like common sense, right? But I'm going somewhere with it. So just follow me. So I remember when the first time I quit a 6-figure job, um, it almost felt like I said, I'm quitting cold turkey because I made up I had the thought on a Tuesday. I kind of went through the series of, like, the rabbit trail in my mind, just to be like, am I bugging right now? Or, like, no, like, this is viable for me, like where I am in this season of my life. And by the end of that same week, I had given my notice, right? However, I will say that it wasn't cold turkey, because it was premeditated in the sense of where I got my druthers about me when I had the thought about, like, why am I even doing this? Like, seriously. And I realized that job needed me more than I needed it in that season of my life. And so what I said to myself was, okay, well, what am I going to do? Like, I'm a planner by nature. I'm an analyst by nature. And so for me, like, I will take risks, but I will take calculated risks. That's just what allows me to sleep at night and allows me to do whatever I'm going to do with confidence. So I'll say that I had a plan in place, and my plan honestly was, I'm going to go back to school, get my PhD in psychology. And I said, until I figure that out, I'm going to, worst case, I can go be a math teacher. I got a math degree. I can go be a math teacher. I'm a minority, all of the things, right? Just, I can go do that. And last but not least, to sum it all up, my plan is to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to be okay, but I'm going to figure it out, right? That was my semblance of a plan in that season. Now, let me tell you what the third way to quit is. It's with a strategy, having an exit strategy. And so the difference between, I actually had to look it up because I'm like, wait a minute, I feel like I'm onto something, but, like, I think I might be tripping. Let me look it up. And so I'm not tripping. The difference between a plan and a strategy, I'm glad you asked, right? The plan is here's what I'm going to do. The strategy is the blueprint to executing upon what it is that you said that you were going to do or that you want to do, right? There's a difference. And there's a different level of confidence that you have when you break out of the proverbial jail, right? That is your 9 to 5, to go do what it is that your heart desires when you have an exit strategy. Not only do you have the vision of what you will be engaging in, right, when you take the leap. But you have a series of goals and milestones and action steps that you plan to implement in order to move towards that goal. And I'll share another example for me. So the second time I quit, right? This time, the first time I didn't have any debt, didn't have a mortgage, all the things. You're right. So I had a little bit more life flexibility. The second time I quit, I had a mortgage. So I looked at life a little bit differently, right? I was looking through a different lens. However, I said, so, but this time I just don't want to say, oh, I'm going back to school. This time I don't want to just say, oh, I can go settle and be a math teacher, because I didn't want to settle in any other way in my life at this point. Like whatever I did next, I wanted to do something that had an impact, something that made my heart happy, something that brought me joy. And I wanted to do something that served other people, right? Using my natural gifts and abilities. So it was a different flex. I wasn't willing to just do just anything once I left my job, once I left my organization. So it was a different flex, and it took the use of some different muscles to figure out what was next for me. However, when I did the work and I had my aha moment about, okay, this is what I want to do next. This this excites me to no end. I think I got my swagger back, right? Now I just got to go and do what I got to do to bring it to life. Now I have an exit strategy. So as opposed to the first time I said, oh, I'll go and teach math, I'm gonna go back to school, and whatever else I said, just because I could at that in that season of my life, right? It was a different flex this time. This time I said, no, I want to coach. I want to become a coach. And not only do I want to become a coach, I want to become a certified coach, because the industry is now regulated. And here I am making a pivot into a totally new industry, right? As a professional, I want to have my legs up under me, and I want to have some credentials to stand on, right? I don't want to just wake up one day and call myself a coach. No knock to anybody that does it, because the industry allows for it, but that's not how I wanted to show up in the world in this new season of my life, wearing this new hat. So my exit strategy was to get certified, right? Which meant finding a program. And all of that started with me actually hiring a life coach, right? By the time I got with my life coach, I had done the work of knowing what I wanted to do next. I actually used my gift on myself, right? Not even realizing it then, but I knew that I wanted to coach, right? And I knew that I wanted to be certified. And what I needed the coach for was to hold me accountable to bringing my dreams to life, because I was tired. I was frustrated. I was overwhelmed. Like I probably was borderline depressed, if not depressed. And I just learned this new term. I probably was exhibiting functioning depression. I think that's the term for it, where just like things are still getting done, but it was to my detriment, right? And I just knew that I could not do it by myself. Like I needed um, a support that was a support system that was different from my built-in support, like the family and friends. Like I needed something different. And that's exactly what my life coach served as for me. And because of the accountability, right? And it was mostly accountability, the baked in accountability of working with the coach, that I was able to identify my program of choice, apply, and get into my program of choice, become a certified coach, right? And then now I'm a credential coach a couple of years later. It was all because I had some strategy, right, behind my plan. And having an exit strategy is a different beast, and it allows you to show up in the world a lot differently. Like the moment I knew that I got into my program of choice, the clock started for everybody. They just didn't know it. Only I knew, right? For me, it was like, okay, I got into my program of choice. My strategy is in motion, right? And now I get to decide how long I'm going to stay here. Now that I have some leverage, like I'm not stepping out into thin air, I'm stepping into my next season, like tangibly. I got a program that I'm starting in a couple of months. I got some new skills and abilities that I'm going to be gleaning. I'm refining my ability to serve people the way I've naturally been doing anyway, but didn't know that I was a coach. Like the game just changed. So having an exit strategy is what I highly recommend, right? So I went from do not recommend to quitting cold turkey to having a plan, and that might serve you, right? And if it does, again, what? You get to choose. But what I highly recommend is having an exit strategy coupled with the right support, the right non judgmental support and accountability to help you see it through, right? Because sometimes that is the gap between where you are and the life that you really desire to live. And I get it. I get it if you feel like it's a lot. I get it if you feel like you can't take on yet another thing. But that's the point. That is the point. If you don't do something, if you want something different, you got to do something different to get different results, right? And so those are the three ways to quit with with my 2 cent attached, right? But I want you to know, if nothing else, like I tell my clients, you always get to choose. Now, if you felt like I was on your pew, stepping on your toes, this was for you. I want to invite you to book a complimentary strategy session with me. You do not have to do this thing alone. Just like with me, and I hired a coach, and it was just enough gas in my tank to like push me over the edge to get me to where my heart desired, even when I felt like the going was tough and I really didn't have enough of it to do it myself. I understand and I got you. I got you. All you got to do is take the first step. Click the link in the description of the video and book a complimentary strategy session. Like, what is it going to hurt? It's not going to hurt anything. And I'm going to be honest with you. If I feel like there is something that I can do to support you on your journey, I may make an invitation for you to work with me. And I also want you to know that working with me is not free and it is not cheap. I'm putting it out there now, but working with me is life changing. And I want you to also understand that when I work with my clients end up doing things in 90 days or less than they've been able to do in the last several years or even the last several months on their own. The game changes when you enlist the right support and accountability. So if that's you, and if you've maybe been watching my content and kind of like teetering or putting it off, I mean, it's go time. Like the only thing stopping you is you. And I'm here. So take advantage of it while there are spaces available. And I look forward to seeing you at your strategy session. Have a good one. Oh, and share this with anybody that you think may be able to benefit, right? If it might not have been for you, it might be for somebody you know. Go ahead and hit the share button and share it with